I'm gonna speak in English because kicsit beszéljük magyarul, but not enough. So I also brought myself a suit. There we go. To fit in, right? Give me a second. I brought my own presentation and all the stuff. So, like that. I'm gonna be walking around. Hello and welcome to a newbie's guide to getting started with Amazon Web Services. My name is Drako Meszaros. I'm a long-time builder, developer, system administrator, system engineer. I'm a big fan of automating things. I used to be in operations. I used to rack and stack servers. But now I get to talk to developers, business leaders, engineers, builders, how to do great things on top of AWS. I come from Szabadka, Serbia. That's why I speak a bit of Hungarian, and well, Meszaros gives it away. But I'm currently based in Germany. Today, I'm going to talk to you about cloud computing. I'm going to give you a bit of input. For example, what is cloud computing? What is cloud computing? It's just a server in the sky, right? It's somebody else's computer, which you don't have to worry about, which you can run like your own. You can have all of your data there, all of your compute, your machine learning, your databases, your microservices, all of the stuff there. It's wonderful. It has changed the way I do things. So what is Amazon Web Services? Well, it's the cloud. It is definitely the cloud. It's basically everything you want to do in your data center, minus the bad things, you can do in the cloud. So virtual machines, databases, running machine learning, storing a lot of data. All of that thing can be run in the cloud. And what's the benefit of it? Not that it's just a data center, not that it's something far away and distributed. It's all controlled through APIs, codes, clicks. It is so easy to set up. It is so easy to go global with Amazon Web Services and the cloud, well, that you will not try to do anything else once you figure this one out. Why AWS? Well, we've been in this game since 2006. We have 175 plus services to be available to you. Now, I'm not sure if that's good or not. When I joined, it was only 60 services. So knowing AWS was easy. Now, we're approaching 200 plus services. That can be a bit complicated. But hey, we give you the ability to choose what you want to run on the cloud. We constantly keep adding new things. We have a massive amount of people who do very, very smart things out there. Available globally. This number is not correct. It's actually 25 regions. I haven't updated the slides. But we have 25 global regions available. We keep on reducing the prices because we figure out how can we make things cheaper for us, and they go cheaper for you. And we also have a huge ecosystem of partners, software, anything available on top of AWS. Every good presentation needs a Gartner Magic Quadrant. This is the cloud infrastructure and platform services. We are still on top, in the top right corner, leaders and visionaries. I'm always very proud to show this slide. Every year I do this. It's just great to see us there, so yay. But also, let me ask you a question. Has anybody migrated to the cloud? Not AWS per se, but to the cloud. Show of hands. 1, 2, okay, 3, 4, okay. Why did you do that? Like, what was your reason to move? Is it because everybody does it? Is it because I made you do it? Well, usually customers do it for a couple of different reasons, right? You can absolutely reduce costs. You can basically collocate or outsource your contract changes, right? You don't have to worry about contracts because you can leave the contracts to AWS. Consolidating your data center. Instead of building out data centers and managing them for yourself, you can reinvest that manpower, that skill, that engineering capability into something better. You can innovate. One thing that the cloud helps you do things is be really fast and innovate on things. When I used to work in a more traditional system, we had a data center. And I had an idea to implement a specific new project. I needed to purchase a server, needed to purchase networking, needed to wait a couple of months for that to arrive and be available. And that project turned out not to work. I just wasted a lot of money, a lot of time for a whole lot of nothing. In the cloud, it can be done within a couple of clicks, couple of API calls, and you're done. If it doesn't work, well, at least you failed cheaply, but you still learn something. Very important. Increasing the agility. This is one of those amazing things when it comes to the cloud. Doing things faster, because your builders, your developers, yourself included, has this thing called the flow, right? If you start working on something, you want to see it through the end, right? You want to start now, and in a week, I want to finish that. What happens if you have to order a server and wait for a server, or wait for some storage, or something like that? It kind of takes you out of that flow, and well, we don't like that. So, gives you the ability to move fast. But also you can free up financial resources. When you buy a server, it's yours, absolutely. But also that same server can sit in a room, waste electricity, waste your invested money, and do nothing. So the elasticity of the cloud, the ability to scale up and scale down along with your costs, gives you the ability to use your money in the best way possible. So think of it like exchanging capital expenses, CapEx, for operational expenses, or OpEx. So the cloud is like electricity. You flip the switch, you pay for it. As soon as you flip it off, you don't pay for it, more or less. Security. I always thought that, like, if I build it, if I hold my server next to me and I caress it and install the system and all that stuff, it should be the most secure thing ever. I'm not the biggest security expert. I'm sure not the biggest security expert like some smart people at AWS. So security is built in from the ground up at AWS. So having secure systems already available to you is one of the great benefits you can just adopt by using the cloud. Data. I've seen mentioned AI and data throughout the day, and data is what they call the new black gold, right? It is the new most important thing in your business. So gaining insights, gaining a higher understanding of what your business does and how does it do it through data is key. Data platforms are expensive. Data platforms are difficult to maintain, so having something like the cloud where you can scale, where you can adopt a lot of data, a lot of those things to help you analyze it is, well, a great benefit to you. And finally, operational resilience. I came from operations. I used to fix servers. I used to fix outages. So having a massive reduction in downtime, just because of the fact if something goes wrong in the cloud, usually just restart it and it works fine. So it's much faster to actually recover from operational problems than in a traditional system where you have to call somebody up to go and turn off a server. But we wouldn't be AWS if we didn't talk about our customers. And I actually picked a few customers to mention today. Euronics, right? I used to live in Czech Republic, and I believe Euronics was there as well. I used to buy stuff from them. They're a well-known brand for home appliances and stuff like that. The thing is, with customers like Euronics, they have Black Friday sales. What happens on Black Friday? Everybody wants to buy stuff, right? It's cheaper, I guess. So everybody goes on their website, tries to buy things, but what happens if you don't have enough resources? You need to buy servers. And then Black Friday goes away, and those servers don't do anything. So Euronics has actually adopted the flexible and scalable model of Amazon Web Services to handle those events. So when Black Friday comes, when a huge sale day comes, it spikes up in usage, it gains more resources, more servers, more databases, more storage in the cloud, and once it's done, it goes away, and they no longer pay for it. So they achieved basically smoothing those peaks and also saving money on the throats. So an excellent example of the elasticity and scalability of the cloud in action. I'll give you a quick overview of Amazon Web Services. What can you expect there? I don't have enough time to explain it all, but let me just give you a quick peek. This is a scary slide. This slide shows, well, not all services, but these are all service categories. So if you're looking something like content delivery networks, email, mobile analytics, identity federation, partners, workflows, DevOps, resource management. All of these service categories exist and have a service or two or five associated with. That's a lot. But when it comes to these services, why do we have so much? And why do we have such a vast array of services and features available? 90% of the roadmap, 90% of the things we implement at AWS comes from you, comes from the builders, comes from the developers. My job is to talk to you, to the builders, to the developers, to the engineers, to see what's not right and what do you need at AWS. So you come to us, you tell us, and we try to implement it after a while. One more cool thing about AWS is the global platform. How expensive it is to build a data center in Singapore. I would say it's not cheap, right? How expensive it is to build a data center on the East Coast. Also expensive. How much time does it take you to deploy your application from Hungary to Singapore and to the United States? A while. Amazon gives you this global platform, 25 regions, 80 plus availability zones, 216 CloudFormation points of presence. There is a point of presence in Budapest. So when your Hungarian customers request data from AWS, if you set it up right, they will most likely get it from Budapest, so, which is wonderful. So it gives you this definitely a global footprint. We have 5 new regions coming up. We have more regions, more places in the world to be coming up soon. We would not be anywhere without our partners. Our partner network is what makes us deal with that very complicated slide, the whole lot of service categories. We, thanks to you, our partners, are able to deal with that. If a customer comes in and they want help, they can reach out to a partner, and we have a lot of partners available. We have Database Marketplace. If you want to buy a piece of software, you want to handle all the licensing from AWS, you can get over 4,000 products available with one-click purchases, which is, if you ever had to deal with licensings, yeah, it's much simpler. Certifications, very important in the modern world. We need to be secure with our data. Amazon Web Services has the most certifications out there from all the cloud vendors. So if you're looking for a specific critical certification for your business needs, I'm sure we have it. So all of those things are available. You need to run a HIPAA workload, you need to run your PCI stuff, it's all there. Speaking of all there, Arcanum. Arcanum has this project called Digiteka, where they store hundreds of Hungarian cultural heritage, your photos, your newspapers, all of those things. They have over 600,000 faces and 500,000 images. The problem with that much data, with that much images, is that to sort them, to search them, people have to manually label them. Imagine searching through 600,000 faces. Takes a while, huh? What Arcanum has done, they have used the service on AWS called Amazon Recognition to use the power of machine learning to recognize those images and make them searchable. So instead of having only 200,000 images searchable and labeled, thanks to Amazon Recognition, they can have now all 500,000 images searchable and labeled, which is pretty fun. Machine learning to the rescue. I'll quickly go over some basic services and solutions when it comes to AWS, just so you kind of get the sense of what we have. Your typical virtual machines, Amazon EC2. This is the core platform of Amazon, or AWS. This is your virtual servers, your virtual machines. A lot of different things are based on EC2. We built our own silicon, we built our own hypervisors, and we basically have this thing called a Nitro card, which managed it all. Wonderful thing. This is most likely the first thing you will encounter if you start using Amazon Web Services. Databases. Not just one database, not two databases, all databases. There's no longer a single database to rule them all. Each database, each data type has its own purpose. So we have purpose-built databases. You want a relational database? There's a relational database. You want key value store? You can. You want document storage? You can. In-memory databases? Yes. Blockchain, ledger, time series, All of those databases exist, and you get to reap the benefits from them and not just use a single, let's say, relational database for all of your needs like certain someone used to do a long time ago. Storing data is usually synonymous with Amazon S3 or Simple Storage Service. S3 is our block storage. Basically, it's the simplest way to store files, or not block storage, object storage. It's the simplest way to store files and objects on the web. Most of those things you would request from a website can and should be stored on Amazon S3. Archival data, backups, all of those things can be on S3, and it's durable, available. It's exabyte scale. You can store a lot of data on that one. It has high performance. You can actually tailor the costs of the S3 depending on what your data is. And finally, hype. This is usually something that when I start talking to people, they're like, oh no, not again with serverless. But yes, serverless. Serverless computing is the thing that will change the way you operate. Serverless computing doesn't mean there are no servers. The servers exist. But the way you operate it, you don't think about servers. You don't care about server. There's no operating system for you to think about. The most important thing you have is your application code, not a server. So serverless computing on Amazon Web Services helps you do these amazing things without having to worry about a lot of operations, a lot of backends, and a lot of complications that come with it. Another customer, Ingatlan. Ingatlan is the real estate business in Hungary. One of the things they need to do is they need to process between 20,000 and 30,000 photos a day. What happens? Somebody posts a picture of their apartment on Ingatlan, and they post a phone number on that image. That's a no-no. They should not do that. You cannot post a name, a phone number on a photo that somebody can reach to you outside of the platform because of the safety of the customers. So what Ingatlan did is they had to go through each photo posted and make sure that wasn't the case. Well, now, again, they're using machine learning services such as Amazon Recognition to do the same thing. They've basically cut costs, removed false positives by using this machine learning algorithm built on AWS to detect those things in an API call, which is just wonderful. Finally, getting started. How do you get started? Well, there's a couple of ways to do it. You can reach out to your AWS account team. If you want a contact from somebody from AWS, please let me know. I'm happy to forward you to the right people. Check out the training partners, because one of the things you need to do when it comes to the cloud, you need to build up your skills. You need to build up the skills of yourself, your engineers, and the people you work with. Check out the plethora of training materials, guides, white papers, videos, live stream, conferences we offer that you can, well, learn things and see how things are done. And also, you can engage our partners. Our partners are here to help you do things in a really, really good way. So, in summary, cloud is very important, right? It helps you do things so much better than you were able to do it. Not that I'm saying that you weren't able to do great things in the past, but let me ask you a question. How much does the data center, your data center, benefit your application? How much does the data center help your application be better than the others? Not a lot. Your application, your code, the things you've built for your customers is what makes you better. Everybody can have the best data center in the world now. Everybody can have all the compute power they want. So do not rely on your data center. Rely on your application and let the data center operations, cloud, data, machine learning, all of those things, let that be handled by us. Let that sit on AWS and let you focus on your application. Before I go, I want to see something. Okay. While we were talking, I deployed a container-based microservice application to the East Coast in the United States, to Ireland, and to Singapore. I have this application now running on 3 parts of the world. it took 15 minutes to deploy. Instead of me spending time clicking, doing things, God forbid, building a data center, I could talk to you. So if it took me to deploy an application to 3 different parts of the world, 15 minutes, imagine what you can do when you really get into it and start building your applications all over. With that, köszönöm szépen. Thank you very much. It's been a pleasure.